guys? This is Freak with Imperial Fist, and I'm here with my good friend.
What is up, beautiful people? I'm your wolf brother, Mythos Kushranada.
You are very beautiful. And guys, I am so freaking excited, huh? Like that, huh? I'm so excited about what we're about to do here. We're about to do Q&A. Yeah, I've been wanting to do this for so long. And every time I go and say, Mythos, let's do it. He goes, nah. Mythos, let's do it. Nah. Mythos, nah.
Ethan, what's up, baby?
Anyway, what's happening? Good friend Ethan just came into the room. So anyway, guys, we got a mess of questions for you after we hit our 100 subscribers. And hey, we can't wait to actually blubber those out to you.
And we're like 19 subs away from hitting 200. So that's, I mean, a pretty incredible first year for us. But before we jump straight into the Q&As, a couple things. First of all, I'm sure you guys saw our most recent video, how we just come back from our trip to see Tattoo for You, Richard and family. Awesome trip. And something we didn't show you on that video is Richard actually went out of his way, did up a couple of custom figures for the Freak Man and I.
Blew us away. He's like, come here, I want to show you something. I'm like, what? And then sure enough, man, he showed us.
So this first one is a converted up figure, and we tried messing with the camera. We can't get enough detail, so you're going to see a picture here in the corner. But this is a converted up model that's about halfway between Ulrich the Slayer and a Ragnar. And I absolutely cannot stand the original model for Ragnar, but I love the character because I'm reading the books. So this is going to be my new Ragnar, and it looks absolutely amazing. The level of detail that Richard put into this figure, it looks awesome. And I love the Ulrich the Slayer head for it. So this is going to be my count as Ragnar Blackmane.
And for me, he actually made this little joker here. Let me show you a tighter shot here in the corner. And this is going to be a great chapter master. Chapter master.
Which, I mean, it's going to be count size, whatever you want it to be, right?
Yeah, I guess so. It could be a chapter master. But anyway, you're going to see the coolest details on it is the blade. That's all custom made. The water effects, just unbelievable. Just a really awesome piece. What we're really upset about is that we forgot to have him
autograph. Oh, we should have got his autograph.
Darn.
Legendary Tattoo for You.
Oh man. So we're gonna have to make a special trip up there.
I guess we're just gonna have to come visit again.
Oh darn. Road trip.
What's really cool, what Freak was saying a second ago, so Richard said that the blade on this sword had snapped off, so he had to custom make another one. And this cool, and again, you'll see it in the corner, but this cool, unique blade was crafted from plasticard. Amazing. And we'll get another shot. Did a Imperial Fist logo that's free-handed on there. It looks absolutely incredible. So
he does incredible work. Anyway, so based on that trip alone, just being with the guy, he was just amazing. Being with the family, just having a good old time, helping him play his first game since 4th edition was just...
It was good being able to go over and meet a sister-in-law and some nieces because we found a brother in the Tattoo.
That's right, his family. And yeah, he tore some tail, didn't he, with his towel?
Oh yeah.
Ouch.
Oh yeah. May have been unwise of us to put the Eldar and the towel on the same team. They
no bueno. Anyway, but hey, it was a fun game.
All good fun.
Yeah. So we're gonna get started with this Q&A, but before we do, we want to give you some fun facts about us.
Inspired by Darklight Dreamers Q&As, we're gonna start off with our own fun facts. So Freakazoid, what you got first?
Okay, what some of you may already know is that I'm a musician, but what you may not know is that I am self-taught. I started playing piano since I was about 17, but I taught myself theory. That's an unusual thing. I have an ear for music, a very well-developed ear, and my mom tried to put me into training, instruction. The problem is that because I had, she was trying to do that when I was 3 years old. What 3-year-old wants to play the piano? They see keys, they're gonna slam on them, right? Although the only way she figured out that I had an ear is that we went to see a movie, Bambi. Those of you, Bambi is a favorite. Anyway, there was a specific tune that I heard, and when I heard it, after the movie, we walked out. The theater was actually in a mall. And as we were walking into the mall area, we passed by a music store that was just, they had these console pianos. And I walked up, kind of hobbled, little 3-year-old, right? And I found the piano and I started pressing the notes. I found the notes and I replayed the exact same note that I heard in the movie. So my mom, boom, instant mind blow. She says, I'm gonna get you to take lessons. Big mistake. I had no desire for lessons. And then even as I grew older, I really, for some reason, couldn't get into the whole lesson thing. So anyway, long and short is that when I finally got the interest, I taught myself how to read music so I can teach myself theory. And then I actually taught myself chord progressions and all that stuff. And then I started teaching myself how to play other instruments. So it's just one of those things that I really, really love. I have a passion for music. I cringe when I hear a bad note, so anyway, that's something about a freakster.
See, guys, we're learning stuff already. I just learned that my freak man has still repressed anger from being 3 years old and trying to be forced to learn music.
Right? I don't want to do it! Get off me!
Learning stuff already. Mine is when I was in early 20s, I think right at 20. My brother was in high school and we had been studying swordsmanship, since we were kids. Because my Thai family, the kickboxing runs in the family, using the sword. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the name of the style in Thai.
Try.
Because my Thai family always says I say something horrible whenever I try and say a Thai word. I'm very bad at speaking Thai. But using sword runs in our family. We even have, I think my mom said one of our family members was a general somewhere back in our bloodline. So that's cool. Anyways, we've been learning the sword for a long time. We've learned multiple styles. I've been through, SCA fencing style. I've, learned to use the sword in martial arts. And of course, there's what we learned in our family. We've been messing around with swords since we were kids. And eventually we just learned more and more and more, adding new styles to it. Anyways, when my brother was in high school, we started an after-school club called Saber Club. And we would do some training with some of the kids through the week. And then on Saturdays, we would get together from it was an all-day affair from 11 o'clock, I think, in the morning, all the way to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was 5 hours out in the sun, beating each other with kendo. And, oh man, we had so much fun. We taught people some things. Some of the friends that we made in Saber Club are still friends that we have today. And that was well over 10 years ago. So, great experience that we had. We still get together a couple times a year and do a barbecue out, break out the kendo, and we just go to town. So, that's
And kendo is not an alcoholic beverage. It's actually.
We sometimes also break. Actually, more than sometimes, we get together. We do like to break out the alcoholic beverages
With the kendo.
That's not on the sheet.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Because that'd be an interesting one.
Guys, never mix alcohol and martial arts. But yes, we got it all the time.
Funny as heck. Oh my god. Could you imagine somebody doing it? Never mind. All right, so, shall we get to it?
Going right in.
All right, you want to read out the first one?
From the Soul Assassin says, so you can't collect wolves or fists anymore.
What?
Who would you collect?
Darn. Jeez, you would ask that. Who would I collect? So, can't do fists, can't play. Crimson Fist.
No, well, it doesn't say Imperial Fist. It says you can't collect wolves or fists anymore.
Any fists in general?
I think he outthought you on that.
Dang it.
Tactical maneuver.
Yeah, that was sneaky. Oh, touche with that.
I've had my answer for a while. I've had interest in Minotaurs before. I think they just look cool, especially with having a leader who is essentially 40K version of Leonidas. Hell yeah! That is a cool model. So that would be an option. And then I've always wanted kind of a White Stars bike army. Just because I think the bikes look awesome.
I do like Stars. I do favor them.
And we Wolves have some of the worst bikes in the game. So, being that we have some of the worst, I would like to have some of the best. Plus, I think the white armor looks cool.
I like, I don't know why, but I like the Blood Angels. pretty badass. I love their color scheme. You know it red, but I've seen some really, really cool painted models. Here's the thing. I like the color schemes more so than maybe perhaps play style. So I'll gravitate to something that kind of really looks cool or is a challenge to paint.
Blood Angels are cool. I like their new ability to drop in and assault in the same turn. I wish we wolves could drop in and assault, especially since fluff-wise, that's what Void Claws do. Anyways, I'm not salty, but I'm salty. Anyways,
cool. Thanks, bud. All right, next one is This will take a while.
That's why you gave me the first one. You just wanted to be able to read Mike's name, didn't you?
Yes! All right, looking forward to the Q&A. One, what do you enjoy most about the hobby?
You know, I actually like painting and assembling a lot more than I assumed I would. When I first started playing, to me it was a means to get to the end where I can play. You know, like hurry up so I can play. But once I sat down and put my very first squad of Blood Claws together, I was hooked right away. Is it my favorite part? I like seeing my skill progression. I like seeing the creation of something, and when you're done with it, like, this is mine. This is what I did. Even some of my commissions, I feel like, even though they belong to other people now and I've been paid for them, it's like I gave birth to them. Like, yep, those are Will's, but they're mine.
Giving birth to the plastic models. Now, for me,
not to add any insult to anyone who's actually been through birth.
No, we understand.
The birth of creation, creativity.
Can't imagine birthing a plastic model through you.
And we would definitely not want to envision actually going through the real thing and having shoulders get stuck halfway through.
Oh.
Anyways.
So what I like about the hobby is exactly that. I love the hobby portion of it. The painting, the creativity, learning something new. The challenge is what I like, and that's kind of why I picked my Hero Fist, because one thing that I heard is that Hero Fist yellow can be a very difficult and unforgiving color to actually master or to paint. And so for me, it was like, come on, Cletus, let's do it. And that's why I really liked it so much. And it's just really cool. There's so much you can do with the shading and the highlighting and all that. So, and that's what I enjoy. And for some reason, when you're working on a miniature, it's just so therapeutic.
It is therapeutic, Until I had this happen, working on a model for someone else right before. Let me rephrase that. I had this happen just earlier tonight. Unfortunately, what I get salty about is I have this happen every time I work on a model for somebody else. Okay, just don't tell my customers. But I will be mostly done with the model, and then I'll pick it up to look at one minor detail, picking it up, drop. Oh, mother
chickens!
Oh, a weapon will snap off, a wrist will snap off, a head will snap every time, right as I'm done. I'm just like, man, I am so pleased with the way this, mother
that he's still sensitive about it.
I had this happen literally, like right before I came over here. I was just like, yep, I'm almost ready to mail this. Oh, God. Sour. I'm gonna have to do some cleaning when I get home.
Okay, so we're not done. Listen. What's your favorite TV shows? Ooh, that's pretty good.
Favorite.
Wow.
Favorite.
I've got a couple.
Favorite.
Yeah.
You start.
Okay. I love The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
I didn't think I would like it, and of course I kind of procrastinated a little bit watching it, but man, when I got into it, great storyline. I love zombies. Can't go wrong with zombies. Anyway, really loved Walking Dead. Still do. And I got a lot of catching up to do, but that's kind of like the top of my list.
I'm a cheat. All right, so notably favorite ones. I love Walking Dead. I love Game of Thrones at the moment. Although I would not call it my favorite by far. Anyways, Supernatural is definitely one of my favorites.
I forgot about that. That's a good one.
Yeah, that definitely.
The Winchester Boys.
Supernatural is going to be one of the highest ones. Leverage, real big fan of the show Leverage. Psych, I loved all the seasons of Psych, including the ending. And a lot of series do that. I'll love the whole thing, and they'll disappoint me on the last episode.
Sorry.
But Psych was definitely a good one.
Awesome.
I can't pick a favorite though. Not right now. If I had to pick one, I would cheat and make a list like I did.
Number 3, what makes you subscribe to a YouTube channel? That is a really good question. You wanna do that one, or you want me to take that one?
Go right ahead, sir.
Okay. For me personally, it's what holds my interest. Okay. For me, a YouTube channel. Actually, it's a little more than that, but if the YouTube channel holds my interest, if it's something that I will repeatedly watch and I want to get notifications for it, I will subscribe to it. If it's got good content, good camera presence that just kind of draws me, then yeah, I'm going to hit that subscribe button. Also, if I can see where that person is actually reaching out and trying to captivate me by making contact, like in other words, hey, thanking me for watching or whatever, just making that contact with the viewer, I'm more apt to subscribe as well. So there's a few other things that will kind of cause me to draw to actually hit the subscribe button.
For me, there's a few things. First of all, I look for charisma. They've got to be able to. Charisma runs the world in some ways. It's just who do people want to be around. And so there are some painters that are incredibly talented, and
I know where you're going with this, man.
I'm not going to go into it. But sometimes if I can't,
my favorite painter.
If I can't stay awake.
Okay, there is a painter. We're not going to mention the YouTube, but I love watching him.
And I highly respect their work. They do
amazing. This is a professional painter. This guy does commission work anyway.
Not just tabletop quality. We're talking display quality.
Incredible work. And see, I watch his videos and I learn a lot. I learn a lot from him. On airbrushing and all that stuff. But someone falls asleep, gets narcoleptic.
I can't do a tutorial with them. And it's not anything against them. It's just I have some pretty severe ADD, and I was unable to listen to the person. Anyways, but I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. They do amazing work.
All right.
So that's one of the things. Charisma is, do they have? Is there something I want to listen to? Also. Content. It's like solid techniques. Am I learning something? At first, I started watching one of my very earliest subs, the Commissar. I started watching just because I was learning a lot, but also his crazy personality and that sense of his charisma was definitely a
unapologetic.
Let's watch every episode kind of thing. So definitely, I like that. And then. So content, am I learning something? Am I seeing something? Am I impressed with their work? And of course, charisma. And then I'm going to be honest with you guys. I know most Q&A people aren't going to tell you this. I'm a sucker for a pretty face. Okay, so I do sometimes sub just because somebody is pleasing to watch. Think about that.
We'll leave it right there.
If I'm subbed to your channel, just think about that for me.
That's right. Hi.
But yeah, so I definitely have some subs just because I like to watch them.
No, we're not creepers at all.
Also, some people are just more pleasing to listen to, and accents are pretty awesome. So, that's
we're
also
self-incriminating here. Just saying.
I'm just playing with you guys. No, I really do. So I will sub to some people for just a pretty face. In fact, Mr. Credits, I happen to notice we are both subbed to a same model. Anyways, don't go looking through his sub. That's just me.
All right, next one. Last question from Credulous. What's your favorite type of cheese? Mozzarella. I know what you're asking, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Favorite, I have to say, is probably Swiss. I love how it melts. I love its flavor. If I would say my least favorite cheese, Tao.
We have a Tao player behind the scenes right now looking at us like, F you!
I try to be fair. He really does. It's just hard to be fair.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's just like, as soon as you put them on the table, you don't have to do anything. They just blow everything up. No touchies, just boom,
Like,
gone.
we played each other in the tournament, and I think he went and left and got a cup of coffee, and I still died.
All right, next.
I never talked about that either. So tournament, I never updated you guys on.
Here it goes.
First round, I actually was in the lead. I won my first match by the maximum amount of points. My next round, I went against Tao, and then with nothing preset, just on a whimsy, the judge goes, yeah, Nita should be playing against the Tao, and what the hell? Let's just make it kill points. And so the Tao didn't have to do anything. They just sat in the back and nuked me. So whatever. And then I lost by the maximum amount of points. And then I just put me so far behind I couldn't bring it up.
That's so bad. I mean,
it was pretty bad.
He was so done. I mean, Cloud was actually going through his pockets looking for loose change. He was pretty much just.
Cloud was a great opponent. It's just the Tao just nuked the crap out of me.
All right, want to take the next one, dude?
Next one.
Knee War Game.
Knee Warzone.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so to begin with, how long have you been into the hobby and how did you both get into it? So I've been in it about 1.5 years now. I started sometime at the beginning of the fall last year. And I got into it by accident. We were at their local game shop playing Magic the Gathering. And I was the first one out in a team, or in a giant free-for-all game. I got focused out early, and then another one of my friends was right behind me. He got nuked next. And Magic the Gathering games can go on for a long time, especially in these free-for-alls. So we knew we had a lot of time to kill, and the store owner, Sid, by the way, same owner of the store that we're playing at right now, Sword and Superheroes in Keywood. He had a display board with 40K, with Flames of War set up, and said, hey guys, not doing anything for a while, you get in the game. And we checked it out, and I love the moving by the tape measure, I love the dice throwing, and I had a lot of fun. And I was like, man, if only there was a more fantasy-ish version of this, I would totally play, because World War II gaming didn't really interest me at the time, but the concept of the game, the way it played, interested me. And so, my bro Daz Fishernato, said, oh yeah, and he walked over to the 40K section, and I followed right behind him, and I've been broke ever since.
Yeah, pretty much. So how did I get into the hobby? Well, it's his fault.
All my fault.
Yeah.
Well, and your job application.
It's true. Okay, so get this, right? We haven't talked for each other in a while. We used to actually work in security a while back, and I left the company and I went and got in the field service, whatever. Anyway, so we lost contact. We lost touch for a good year or so. Maybe 1.5 years, 2 years or so.
I think about 2 years.
About 2 years. Anyway, so we lost contact, and I haven't talked to this guy in a while, which is the same as losing contact. Anyway, so all of a sudden I saw an ad for GW supervisor or manager, and I've been in management, so I decided I was going to go ahead and try my luck, and I was progressing well within the interviewing process, but it was Games Workshop, and so I was like, wow, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. And the person that was interviewing me was asking me about, Warhammer, if I was familiar with it. I was like, well, I think I have that game installed on my computer. So, but I kind of vaguely remember that I saw where Meatloaf was actually getting into that game, and so I picked up the phone. The guy hadn't talked to me in like so long. And I think I messaged him on Facebook or something. I said, dude, do you play Warhammer? He goes, do I? Next thing you know, he's inviting me to a game. Just gonna check it, not a game, but actually come and check him out, hang out with him at Swords and Superheroes here in Kingwood, Texas. And I actually got to watch, the group that he was in just kind of kill each other on this game. And it was intriguing. At first it was like, oh wow,
You guys know, it's a fever.
Yeah, and next thing you know, I'm like, and of course, it took me a little longer because I wanted to know more. It's a hobby, and of course, you guys know that some hobbies cost a little cashola. And so I wanted to make sure that if I'm going to invest any money in it, then I am going to I'm actually going to. So anyway, what I was saying was that I was going to invest in. If I was going to invest into something, into hobby, I wanted to do my my due diligence, look into the game, check into it, see how much it was going to cost me. How much time would I have to devote? Would it be something that my wife would have an issue with? Because I tend to have very expensive hobbies as a musician and all that other goofy stuff. So I started asking him a lot of questions. I started coming to a bunch of games, and I started, checking out, what's happening. And
in fact, a lot of our early episodes on doing it on the cheap, getting in on the cheap, stripping models down and getting models on the cheap. A lot of those come from our early discussions trying to set the hook and get them in the game.
By the way, you can check out those videos right here. So that would just click on that, and it'll send you to some of our previous videos. Matter of fact, on the cheap, and that one right there will be our actual first video on how we actually got into the game. So, but really, long and short, I fell in love with the concept. I love sci-fi, but I also love kind of like a D&D, mix. This was like D&D, sci-fi, physical, really, really cool stuff. So anyway, that's how I got into it, and ever since I started with a small single tactical squad, and my army just started growing. I am at over about 1,800 points at the moment.
And I forgot to mention, I had read several of the Warhammer 40K novels. I like the lore. I don't know why it never occurred to me until that moment to actually try getting into the game and playing the game. It always been kind of beaten into my head when I was younger that Warhammer is an expensive game and I can't play it. But as an adult making my own money, it just never occurred to me to get in and do it on my own.
Good question, man. All right, the next one, Wargamer Sean. Cool guys, how did you guys get to know each other, and what made you start the channel together? Cheers.
We got to know each other over working together in security. Both worked for the same security firm, got put in the same, we both worked at the same security firm for a while, and then he got promoted to a position at my site with my client. So at that point, I was a safety and training manager like I am now, and he was an assistant security manager. And so there was just a lot of time of us just sitting around and nerding out. But we were both toe tipping into the nerding pool because we didn't want everybody at work. Security can sometimes you're around some very different people. Very professional people in some cases,
and very not professional people.
And some people that are just straight up like serious, not into the nerd stuff at all, just very serious people.
You play what?
Oh, also just
you play what?
And in doing so,
that's nerdy.
One day we were talking about our boss and which one of us they were going to get angry at more. And I told him, dude, you can totally take the aggro on that. And he literally did like in a cartoon, like, his head whipped all the way around. I said, do you play WoW?
I knew the moment that he said that, I was like, oh my God, he speaks my language. I was like, I get it, but I don't want the aggro. Didn't want it. Didn't.
Once we knew we were both nerds,
I'm not a good tank at all. I'm a healer. I'm squishy.
Once we knew we were both nerds, though, it was easy for us to relate. I mean, yeah, we were pretty awesome friends after that. Except until he got a job somewhere else. Because I told him at the beginning, I am a horrible, up until YouTube apparently, because YouTube seems to have changed that. Up until that point, though, I've always said I'm a horrible long distance friend.
He didn't warn me.
Very bad at out of sight, out of mind. Like every once in a while, I'm like, oh hey, how's this person doing? But very bad at the follow through. But YouTube has really kind of turned that around. Like I'm talking to people from years ago, so like this guy. All right, guys. So thank you for joining us on our very first of this Q&A, and we're actually bringing this to you at the end.
That's so many. We have to split them up.
Taking a look, this actually took us 2 hours to film all of the Q&As, and we did get sidetracked on some of the questions, but
we enjoyed talking.
I mentioned before, I like talking to you guys, and I think just being able to give some of the stories to go with this is really part of the fun. So, so this is going to be part 1, and there's going to be 4 of these. So join us next time.
Stay tuned
when we do part 2 of our Q&A. And if you like this Q&A, then ball up a fist and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. All right, and leave us some comments down below on what you thought of this segment of our Q&A. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, then Freakmeister and I would love to have you as part of the pack.
Fodor and Ross.
Until next time, guys.
Stay frosty here.